old boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby.
All right, guys, welcome to the Wednesday live stream of Beyond the Rider Live. This is a very, very exciting episode for us. We have Dave, the CEO of Custom Dynamics, with us tonight. Dave, how are you, sir?
Good, thank you. Thank you for having me on. Sorry, a little technical difficulties. And good thing I had a backup camera, so we're up and running.
You can never have enough backups, it seems. No problem at all.
That's right.
That all worked out.
The world we live in. What are you
backup camera, backup motorcycle.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, we should all have backups to our backups. That's what we've learned. So welcome, everybody. We're very excited for you guys to be here. We are going to be doing a 200 here. I'm going to throw this up on the screen so you guys know the rules. We are going to be doing a giveaway at the end of the show, referencing something that we spoke about on tonight's show. So I wish you all good luck. And with that, we are going to, there it is, the $250 Custom Dynamics gift card. So nice. We are going to get into it. Thank you so much for sponsoring that. We really do appreciate it. And Denver, how are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing good. Actually, I wanted to, take a moment to actually thank you, Dave, for when you came on my podcast when we did the memorial for Leo for LM4 Photo. And, we never kind of, I guess, in a way, so got to meet face to face, kind of like we're doing over a computer screen. It was, a couple phone call conversation, emailing back and forth. But I just wanted to, now that I can actually see it, say, hey, thank you very much for doing that part and coming on the V-Twin Life and doing a little piece for Leo.
That was
no
awesome.
problem. It was a pleasure to come on and do that.
Yeah, it's the one great thing about this community is we definitely support each other. So, Dave, I guess the floor is yours, sir. Could you introduce yourself and give us the pitch, if you will?
Sure. So my name's Dave Pribula. I'm the CEO, founder of Custom Dynamics. We started the company almost 20 years ago now. Time has really flown by since we started it. Just to give you a little background, I'm an electrical engineer. I've been riding motorcycles pretty much all my life. I started riding when I was probably about 7-8 years old. Started riding dirt bikes. A little Honda 50 was actually my first dirt bike I had, just riding with the neighborhood kids, and got interested in motorcycles. And I've always ridden. Went to college. I became an electrical engineer. And when I graduated from college, I worked at IBM for about 10 years. And I did a lot of optical work at IBM. And then from IBM, I worked at Philips Electronics for 9 years. And while I was at Philips Electronics, I started Custom Dynamics, and really just started as a hobby. I was just tinkering around with my motorcycle and with LED lights. And, way back then in 2002, LED lights were kind of just beginning, and we didn't see a lot of LEDs on motorcycles. You certainly didn't see LED headlights and LED taillights. The only thing we really had back then were LED accent lights, and I was just messing around. I don't know. I didn't set out to start Custom Dynamics, or I was just tinkering. It was just something to do, on the weekends, and it kind of combining my passion for electronics and optoelectronics with my passion for motorcycles, and that's kind of how I got started. And never thought we'd be here 20 years later.
That's awesome.
30 some employees, and where we're at, just what there was no master plan to do this.
That's sometimes the coolest things, right? It just sort of goes. That's really great that you had I guess what they would say now is a side hustle that turned into you're arguably one of the biggest business, or the biggest light manufacturers in the business. That's fantastic. That is really great. So
yeah,
I guess
so what we
okay.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
It's what we know. I think what we have done is, my philosophy has always been to, really focus on customer service and, reinvest, what we've done back into that. And I think that's where it's got us to where we're today. What my pet peeve with, not just with e-commerce businesses, but just in business in general and stuff is that, you see so many companies in all industries, not just the motorcycle industry, but all industries, you go on their website and it says, contact us or click here for tech support. And, you send an email in or you fill out their online form and it's like a black hole, you're lucky if you hear back from them. When we started custom, that was kind of our founding principle is that, we're going to take care of the customer. We're going to make sure every email, every phone call, every day is answered and taken care of. And to me, it's common sense to do that. I don't know why anyone would have any business and not do that, but it just seems like, that's the world we live in today.
Yeah. I can say from my first Custom Dynamics experience with reaching out, you guys really put the heart and the soul into supporting your customers. And I think that that's huge because like you said, in today's day and age, that's what makes or breaks a business. Yeah. And Valerie, that's extremely true. To me, we always joke, you say common sense isn't that common, but it's a shame that people really miss out on that. It really is the difference between what makes a good company and a great company is the people that you employ and the people that stand behind the products, because most people don't get the chance to talk to you, but they get a chance to talk to whomever that answers the phone. I think that's huge.
Having somebody on the other end that can actually help get you through your issues or even, answer your stuff is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you grow and become a bigger company, it does get harder to do that. In the beginning, it was my wife filling the orders and, me answering the phone. So, when you're a 2-person show, you can make sure everything's taken care of. But as you grow and you get more and more people, it's harder to do that. But you have to make sure you're hiring the right people. You're putting a lot into training and then when you make a mistake, because it's going to happen, no one's perfect. Then, you fall on your sword and you do what's right. And, I always tell our people, hey, we're not perfect. We're going to make mistakes, but it's what we do after when you make that mistake to take care of it. And I always tell our customers too, I go out and I do a lot of shows. I don't do as many as I do, but, I always tell customers and, they come up and they talk to me and say, hey, I've had, this was great. I had a warranty and you guys take care of it. But I always tell them, hey, if you ever find, something that we didn't take care of, send an email directly to me, call and ask for me. I want to hear that. I want to hear if we didn't. I'd love to hear that we did. And that's 99, percent of the time, or 99.9, it better be. But, I want to hear that 0.1% that if we didn't take care of it too, because that's how you get better. That's how you grow. And that's how you improve things.
Absolutely. And I think sometimes, the way you recover sometimes does better off than how you started, right? Because it's hard when it's a difficult situation. I think that's what separates a good company from a bad. We kind of got ahead of ourselves with this, but I guess the question I wanted to start with, so let's go through your lineage before. How old were you when you first threw your leg over a motorcycle?
I was probably about 7. I was probably about 7. I lived, the thing is, back then it was nice. You lived in a neighborhood, you had places to ride, and, it was, after school, it was everyone got on their bikes, and, I rode with the bigger kids, and, we'd all have a place in our neighborhood down at the end of the road, which now, when I go back to that area, I grew up in upstate New York. I go back to that area where it was all woods and we all rode. It's big, huge housing development now. And, I think that is hard on kids today getting into riding and stuff, that you don't have those type of areas. And we'd ride all year round, whether it was summer and, 80 degrees out, or whether it was winter and, -5, we were always out there riding. It was every day after school. It was weekends, and that's where I learned to ride. And, it was fun riding with group of guys and doing crazy things and, pulling sleds behind the bikes and crazy things that you don't want your kids to do.
I feel like that's a generation that, we were that last generation to have those things, and our kids miss out on that. I can't even get my kids to be interested in taking a ride on the motorcycle. It's like, go outside. Who does that, Dad? It's like, come on.
They're hopping on the old three-wheeler.
Yeah.
They used to have the old Honda three-wheeler and throw the sled
Three
at the
wheels
bottom
before they were
behind it.
illegal. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So as you transitioned to that, Dave, what
Yep.
was your first street motorcycle? Or did you wait a while? Were you that guy that had the motorcycle license before you rode or before you had a car?
So my wife's grabbing her computer. Skipping out of here, leaving the cat with me. So I started on my first dirt bike was that Honda 50. And then I transitioned to my first street bike being another Honda, which was a Honda CB750.
Nice. You see a lot of people. Denver has one himself. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What year was yours,
it was I believe it was a 82, I believe. I'm not sure. It had to be earlier than that. It had to be in the 70s.
Nice.
Mine's a 79. I need to get working on it.
Yeah,
honestly.
I'm thinking 78, but yeah, it had to be 70s.
That's awesome.
It was a great first bike. I enjoyed it. And believe it or not, I didn't get my Harley for a long time after that.
See, that's cool. I really respect people that you're that into it. That's awesome. I didn't ride until later in life, so I didn't have the opportunity to do that, but that's fantastic. That's really neat.
It was good. And I had, street bikes, I really, I used my street bikes more back then for kind of like transportation. It was like, I had my first jobs and, in high school, and I would, use the bike for transportation, but I really grew up loving riding dirt bikes and, like I said, doing the crazy things, going, out in the woods and, doing all kinds of things I shouldn't mention.
That's awesome. Yeah, we don't mention those things on video.
Well, that's fun. I mean,
yeah.
and that's kind of where it all started for me too. I was young and we'd go ride up in the foothills of the mountains and, trail ride and, building our own trails. And it was a blast. I mean, you'd find old, kind of abandoned pits and whatnot. And, oh man, I would hop and go ride anytime I could when I was younger, before I had a license. I mean, motorcycles were my life when I was a young little kid, and it was a blast.
Yeah. When we do everything too, we would, the bike broke, we'd rebuild the engine, I mean, whatever it took, we didn't have the money and stuff. It's not like you take the bike in for, to have service done on it and stuff, we'd all do it ourselves and stuff. We'd get together as a group and, we learn to, rebuild engines and transmissions and everything, ourselves
awesome.
as kids. And, no one taught us, it's a lot of trial and error. But yeah, that's how we learned to wrench on bikes.
I think it's a shame because that process of learning as you're doing is something a lost art. Everyone goes out to YouTube now to figure out everything. And there's a lot to be said for the generation. You just kind of kicked it around until you figured it out. I think that's, no matter what you do, I think that there's a lot to be said for that. I think it makes you a lot more passionate about what you do. That's really neat. So,
and not taking away from anyone that, that rides today, but I'm always
Sure.
amazed that, guys, come in, at shows and stuff and, literally don't know how to change a taillight, 2 Phillips head screws and stuff. And, and that's fine. I mean, everyone's, different and stuff, but, it's just a different generation, a different time,
You're saying that I had to laugh because actually last weekend my dad just changed all his taillights on his new Road Glide. Of course, put all new Custom Dynamics taillights in the front blinkers and everything. But he was having an issue getting the old ones in the wiring harness. Somehow got messed up and he ended up ripping the whole harness apart trying to get his lights out. And I laughed at him. I mean, it's like we do a lot of work on our bike, but somehow, I don't know, it got the best of him that night. And yeah, he ended up ruining a set and had to get another one.
Yeah, well, it can happen.
Yep.
It certainly gives you a lot more confidence. I can speak for myself when you know that you can call somebody and somebody's going to walk you through the process. Just don't look at my case history. That's all I ask Dave. It looks better when I did it right the first time. I have to say, all kidding aside, and I wish I could remember the other gentleman's name, but Todd was a lifesaver. He walked me through a bunch of stuff that, it seems so confusing. And then to have somebody that knows it inside and out that can walk you through it backwards, it's just amazing. It's like anything, buying the product and having that initial support obviously is great. You can package it and do these great things, but when you call and you're, especially in the beginning when I'm completely clueless as to what I'm doing and someone can walk you through it and help you not feel like an idiot. When you leave the call going, wow, this is like the greatest experience ever. I think that speaks a lot for your people.
That's great. I think everyone has this fear of electrical items. I think it's just it's natural. They say, hey, I can change the exhaust, but wait, electrical? Wait, I got to go under my seat. I got to plug in a harness. I'm a little taken back by that, but we try to make everything we do plug and play and make it as easy as you can. And if you can't do it, that's why we have the tech support and we have the videos and things, and try to make it as easy as we possibly can. But I think it's just natural, right? I mean, most people are a little bit intimidated by electrical items.
Sure. And the one thing that I found too is that it's weird because my father was going to disown me at some point, but he was a mechanic his whole life. And this is new to me. So it gives you the confidence to want to work on your bike, which I think is great because to me, even if it's just lights, it's so much cooler to have done it yourself than to say, oh, the dealer put these in. It's a sense of pride because it is your motorcycle.
Well, it's that sense of pride when somebody else looks at it and comments, you're like, yeah, and and you can explain to it, and then you can have that sense of feeling, what, I did that. I actually, I did those pieces on my bike, when people compliment how it looks. I mean, yeah, there's a great product that you put on because, they look great and it is, but then you can have that sense of pride because you were able to do that bit of, customization to your bike, whether, it is lights or exhaust or whatnot, to be able to do that and have that sense of pride after you're done, you feel good about it. And then when you get the compliments, it just makes you feel, even that much better, and you accomplish something and you're enjoying it.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, so you take away, some learning experience from it, and I always think it's fun, whether it's your motorcycle, your car. I like to work on cars and stuff too. But it's a nice little project, whether you're doing it on the evening or you're doing it on a Saturday. Go out, have a beer or whatever you like to do and stuff, and do that, set out to accomplish that little project. And hey, you're done. You got it. You did it. You feel accomplished, and you learned a little something doing it too.
Yeah. I think that's important. I think that there's a lot to be said for no matter how small the project is, you did it, and even if you make a mistake, you're learning from it. And that's the lesson, I suppose. So we touched on it briefly and then we kind of went off track, but I know that you said you started Custom Dynamics as a side project. Now, was that branded as Custom Dynamics when you started?
Yeah, so a little more detail on that.
Sure.
So the way it really got started, like I said, there was no master plan to do this, is my wife and I, we went to Myrtle Beach on the motorcycle, and we had some accent lights put on the bike, the underglow decorative lights. And I came back from Myrtle Beach, and I said, hey, this looks great. And I don't know, I think, back then it was just the little pods. There wasn't LED strip lights or anything like that we have today. And I think I had just the tank done. So it was, probably 4 or 6 lights put on. So I came back and I said, hey, this is pretty cool. I've been into optoelectronics, and I really said, I want more. I want to do the whole bike, and stuff. So, I started looking around, where can I get these lights, and started, searching on Google and stuff, looking for the lights, and, I couldn't find anyone that made a kit that I could buy and, tie into this and, and do this. So, I started to get a little frustrated. So finally I found the lights and I found the color, and I'm like, well, I hope these match and stuff. And I order the lights, I get them in, they come with 4-inch wires on them and stuff. I'm like, what good is this going to do me? So now I got to buy wire, and I got to, luckily I can solder. So now I got to solder the wire, put heat shrink on them, extend them. And now I got to connect them into the system. And oh, wait, these lights don't have tape on them. I've got to go buy 3M tape. Well, that should be easy. Home Depot will have, no, they don't. So now I've got to go back online and try to find 3M tape. Oh, and now I got to use some type of promoter for it. So I got to find, so long story short, it turns into a big hassle here to find all these little things to add the lights to the bike that I wanted to do. So I went through all this, finding all these parts and stuff. And I said, gee, if I'm having this problem, maybe other people are having this problem. Would it be nice to put a little kit together and sell? And that's kind of where the light bulb went off, or the LED went off, and said, hey, maybe I can make a little kit and sell these, and or install them. I didn't know kind of what I was going to do, but that was the kind of the foundation of Custom Dynamics right there. That's what started it.
That's awesome.
Custom Dynamics, basically, you started the whole thing in your garage. Am I correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. So what I did from there is I came up with the name. I went and registered the name, and, I bought some lights, and I bought the wire, and I started making these kits basically in my garage. So I made a couple kits and stuff. So, I made a full bike kit, an add-on kit, and I made all these little kits. And basically I knew nothing about websites. I know a lot about electronics, and I know a lot about semiconductors, and, I know some about motorcycles. But I don't know anything about a website. I've never done anything on a website. So I literally went to Barnes and Noble and bought a book on, it was like How to Build a Website for Dummies. And I read the book
great.
Start to finish. Yeah. And I made a little website, and, it looked pretty cheesy. And I took pictures of the products and I put them on the website and stuff, and, got a little e-commerce, and, so I could process credit cards. I said, all right, I'm all set now. And I said, all right, now I'm going to sell some products. And, meanwhile, my wife's like, how much money are you spending on this? And I'm like, I spent maybe.
Don't bore me with that.
So, yeah. I'm like, I didn't spend a lot. I spent like maybe $700.
You should write that quote on the wall now that you have this big business.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you.
No one can find me though, right? I mean, I'm like, well, I can't sell anything, because if you search like motorcycle lights, I'm on like, page 300, So now I have to figure out how does Google work? And, that kind of like really intrigued me. So I spent a lot of time, and I was fascinated, like with the algorithm. Like no one really knows how Google works, but I really, really spent a lot of time tweaking the website. And as I made tweaks, and it takes a little time, you start moving up, right? So now you're on page 300. Now you're on page 50. Wow, that one really worked. Still not going to make me sell anything, but at least I'm on page 50. Now I'm on page 20. Ooh, we're getting somewhere. And so I kept tweaking this, kept reading, joining forums, and reading all this stuff about it. And on December 24th, Christmas Eve, 2002, we were at our in-laws, and I checked my email, and we had an order. And that was the first order that we got, Christmas Eve, 2002.
That's awesome.
And so, yeah. And we still, weren't up on page 1, but we were at a point where people were starting to find us. And so I made it our mission. And if you look at our if you ever search, terms now, we rank very well. So if you search motorcycle lights, we're usually in top 3, and motorcycle LED lights or Harley LED lights. And I've always had that passion for optimizing, SEO, our website, and we've always done very well. And that has always helped us, through these 20 years of doing really well, of having our website rank real well for search terms.
That's an amazing story. I appreciate you sharing. So what I've always been curious with the entrepreneurial spirit is, at what point did you take the leap? Because that's a huge leap of faith, from going from something that's not a hobby, it's a business, but it's a side hustle, if you will, to hanging the placard out there and going for it.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So at the time, I was working at Philips Semiconductors, Philips Electronics, parent company, and I had a really good job. I mean, I had a job most people would probably envy. I was the director of technical support for all of the Americas, so Canada, the U.S., all South America. I had like 30 field application engineers working for me. So I had a good job. I mean, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't something I planned on leaving or planned on doing. And, as Custom Dynamics grew from the garage to the attic, that's how we finished off our attic, and we hired an employee. So as I worked during the day, came home, and my wife and another employee worked. We finished a whole attic off. He had 2 offices up there. They answered the phone during the day. Literally, while I was at work, I would go out, sit in the car for an hour at lunch, and try to answer all the tech calls that we had. And then when I came home from work, I do all the remaining tech calls. And in the beginning, it wasn't, a lot, but it would fill up my hour that I had at lunch and would fill me up for a couple hours at night. And then they would ship orders. And then we got to the point where my wife, our employee would go home at 5, and my wife and I would stay up till 12, 1 o'clock in the morning shipping orders. And then we moved from the house and we got an office suite right down the road, and we hired a couple more employees. But it was still such a big burden on her and I and me working a full-time job that after about 3 years of doing both, we were at the point where I felt confident enough that the business was going to be successful, and it was tough because, like I said, I had a good job. I was very comfortable in the job. I didn't plan on leaving, but I really had to do something because it wasn't the work-life balance wasn't there anymore. I mean, it was one job to another that I had to leave, and it was a tough decision. But I got to tell you, there was my manager, great and very supportive. And my manager's manager, a guy named Bill Gallione. And I went and I talked to him, and he told me something that really, really helped me. He said, Dave, I completely understand, what you're doing. I would do this if I was in your situation. But he said, you know what? As long as I'm here, if you need a job, you can come back. And that really helped me, gave me the confidence that, hey, if it doesn't work out, and if he's still here, I have a fallback plan. And there's no guarantee he was always going to be there, but it gave that chance to take the leap of faith to do it. And, I did. I stayed on and probably worked for another 6 weeks. I said, hey, I'll stay on until you find a guy to replace me. We get him trained. We get him up to speed. I don't have to give a 2-week notice. I can stay and work till and I can't stay on for a year, but, I'll stay until you guys get someone. We'll make it an easy transition. And it all worked out great. And it was a smooth thing, and, had a lot of butterflies, but, once I transitioned, I really never looked back.
That is an amazing American story. That's the American dream, right? You take something that you just kind of, for lack of a better word, scribbled on a napkin, and now you've become an enterprise. That is amazing. So how many products did you have at that point when you became when you left to go full time?
I would say we probably had about 100 products or so, all different SKUs, but, a lot more different color combinations and things. So, nowhere like the, 10,000 SKUs we have now. But, I had enough that I felt that, the road, I could see the road, there, again, it was still a leap, but I felt like it was comfortable.
That is awesome. That is, wow. Denver, go ahead.
No, it is cool. I mean, you built a dream, and you know, you had a goal, and then, you know, you end up making it work. And I can understand taking that leap of faith that, you know, and it just goes to show your decision was amazing, because look at what what you became. And, you know, your company is what you could say a household name in the motorcycle industry. And it's awesome to hear you tell it how it went full circle from, you know, your garage to where you're at now, and, you know, the sacrifices you made during the time. But you know what, it's well worth it now.
Thank you. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't even, it just doesn't even seem real that, that how much we've grown and where we've become. And, you know, we've got really good employees, and, you know, everyone's real dedicated, and, you know, and our customers, you know, I can't thank our customers enough. I mean, they're so loyal, and they back us, and, you know, it's been an amazing ride. It really has.
So somebody had asked me to ask, and I wish I could give them credit for it. It may actually have been something I had thought about too, but I think I know the answer to this question, but I don't want to answer it for you. So everyone right away with motorcycles always says, well, this product's more expensive than X, right? So a lot of people go on Amazon and they find the cheapest thing they can throw on their bike. So let's just talk about, for instance, turn signals. What distinguishes your light for someone that hasn't seen it in person? I can tell you it's mind numbing. I mean, the first time I saw that little display of the filler lights that you have, my wife says to me in the Harley dealership, look at this, and then hits the brake light. And all I saw was spots for a while. And I was like, oh, I need those.
Okay, but one sec on that, Brian. I don't mean to
Sure.
interrupt. Riding Humboldt County, he asked a question earlier, but we were busy. He had a question about, he has a 98 wide glide and wants to know, do you make plug and play, you know, products for the earlier models like his wide glide?
Yes, we absolutely do. So for a 98 wide glide, we make everything for the turn signals and tail light. So yes, and headlights. Yeah, he can do pretty much everything for that.
Awesome. Sorry, Denver, I didn't see that.
No, that's okay. We had a great group.
This is big for us. We're not used to this much chat going on, so I apologize.
So I know he asked it again, so I just wanted to, you know,
no, that's a really good question. Again. And I know Bodine just did his 2000 Road King, because he's living the 2-bike life. His bike, you can see his bike from my house. That's a true story. Not really a true story, but so now, damn it.
So yeah. So to answer your question, so a lot of times people will buy, you know, a product, whether it's from a competitor or from Amazon, and they think it's bright, right? And they look at it and they have no reference, right? So they look at it and they say, wow, that's bright. And you don't really realize that it can be a lot better. And LEDs can be deceiving too, because you can look at an LED and you look at it straight on, you say, boy, that looks bright. And here's another one. Boy, that looks bright. Why? What's the difference and stuff? But there's so much more to it. So, you know, a lot of LEDs will look bright straight on. But as you turn that LED and start looking at it from an angle, you want it to still be bright. Okay. Mm-hmm. So most of the ones you get on Amazon, they may appear to be bright when you're looking at straight on. So if you're just saying, hey, this thing looks bright, yeah, it might appear bright. But you know, so if you're a car behind that vehicle and stuff, and you're directly behind it, okay, I'll give you that. It may look bright. But what if you're in the next lane over and the guy has his turn signal on and he's making a turn and coming over, and that you can't see that? So, you know, there's specifications for all that, and most all, with I probably say very few exceptions, the lighting on Amazon doesn't meet the DOT specification. And you may say, I don't care. All right. But it doesn't meet the specifications because it's not bright enough in the right places. And, you know, you can say, I don't care if it meets the spec, but you should care, because that specification is written for a reason, and it's written so that vehicles can see you from all the right angles. Okay, so our lights, we use, you know, very high grade LEDs mainly Osram LEDs, which are one of the biggest in the automotive industry. And we make sure all of our lighting that needs to be, so when I say need to be, headlights, signals, tail lights, need to meet the specification. If you're doing a little light bar as an auxiliary light and stuff, it doesn't have to meet DOT specifications and stuff, although it can't be too bright. So our lighting compared to Amazon lighting and stuff is going to be brighter than that from all angles, not just from behind it, but from all the angles, up, down, side to side and stuff. So that's one reason is the brightness, and to give you more visibility so that that car, whether it's, you know, off to the side, right behind you, whatever, can see you. And you know, this is what we're all about, is safety. This is why we want you to put LEDs on your bike. It's not just to be cool and look sleek. And we try to design, you know, all of our lights to look good, because we don't want to put gaudy things on our bikes. We all want to look good, but we want to look good, but we also want to be visible. And that's what we try to do, is try to make the lights look real good, but also have that visibility, meet all the specifications, and really be a lot brighter than what the stock lighting is. So all that Amazon lighting doesn't meet specifications. It's also typically very poorly put together with very cheap LEDs. So although it may function right now and they may claim some type of warranty, most of them are, you know, a year warranty or something. This is why we do a lifetime warranty, because we can stand behind our products. We're using very high quality grade components, not just the LEDs, but we're using automotive grade components across the board on most all of our products. And those automotive grade components will stand up to that harsh environment that we're putting them through on our motorcycle, so that we can get years and years and years and years of reliable service from those components. You're not going to get that from those very low cost Amazon products. And that's typically what you find on Amazon. I'm not trying to be critical. I'm not trying to.
No, I think it's fair. I mean,
anything.
if we ride, we need to invest in our safety, and I think that that's huge.
That's exactly. I was going to say, well, you know, but you're putting a price on your safety. Literally, do you want to spend, you know, $19 for the taillights, or do you want to spend, you know, X amount of dollars for something that is going to have that visibility where people are going to see you? Because well, you know, we're all on bikes. We're not in the cage. We're not in a car where you got a whole bunch of steel around you to help protect you. It's, you know, your ass in the seat, and there's not a whole lot to protect you. The more lights, the brighter they're going to be, the more visibility that people are going to have for you. I'm all about it.
Yeah. And you hit your brake, you want those lights to light every single time from now until that motorcycle doesn't run anymore.
Yep. And I have to say, I can't speak highly enough of your Magic Strobe. I think every motorcycle should have that. I can't believe the difference that I get at a stoplight with the Magic Strobe. It's amazing. I mean, that to me is the number one product.
Over and over and over for years and years, and stuff that the cars, when you have the Magic Strobe on there, stay back further and further with that on, especially when you have it combined with LEDs. You know, and I've talked to a lot of people that you know, have come to us that have been in an accident, sitting at a red light, sitting at a stop sign, and they say, "Hey, what can I do differently? I've got a stock bike. I was sitting there at the stop sign, you know, minding my own business, riding home from work, and girl behind me or guy behind me, or whatever it was and stuff, was on their phone and just rear-ended me and shot me 20 foot down the road."
Oh, my dad loves it. I know he was pointing that out when he came over on Sunday. Oh, but check this out. Of course, he had to show off all of his new lights because I don't have them yet. I'm like, well, that's very nice, Dad. They're very nice, but the strobe is huge.
Dads do.
I know. He's got to rub it in.
What is the option 6, the blaster or whatever it is? It's the most dramatic, I suppose, of the settings, but that's the one that we run.
That's what most people run. It's a variable speed strobe. So it lasts about 6-7 seconds, and it has that variable speed pattern in the strobe. And that gets, I think, and I think most people would agree, that gets the most attention. Now, some people don't want to be quite as aggressive as that, and they go for other patterns that are just simple flashes, like 3 or 4. But
Thank you, Colin.
pattern 6, the Blaster X pattern, which was jointly developed with Custom LED, that is an awesome pattern. It really gets your attention.
Yeah, when we first put it on, we have a road in Jersey called 206. It's it's very few stoplights or stop signs. And when we first put it on, I had that on. We're coming up to a stop sign. I said to my wife, I'm like, look in the rearview mirrors, look in the rearview mirrors. And you hit that thing and you would think the car behind you hit a wall. Like they don't want anything to do with it. And
Absolutely.
It's great because I've never felt less crowded on a bike. Or, and I know that if I'm coming up and somebody's coming up later and I'm still sitting there, I can just tap it and I get all the space I need. It's
I was following a buddy down a
have.
mountain pass this is probably 2 years ago. And it was 9-10 o'clock at night. We're going over White's Pass here in Washington, which one of the highest passes, there's no street lights. And he had the flasher in him and he hit the brakes a few times coming up behind him. And I literally had to back off and grab my brakes because I was almost blinded for a split second. It's like, holy crap, those things, they're bright, which is awesome because, you want to be seen. And I was highly impressed with, how many, they'll say how many lumens come out of them. It was freaking amazing.
Yeah, it's a well done product. I can't say enough about how much it always amazes me that people will spend 30 grand on a bike, but then they don't want to invest in quality lighting, especially your high lighting. To me, that's a lifesaver. It's a no brainer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think, I always tell people, don't wait. Don't, if you're debating and stuff, don't wait till after someone runs into you and stuff. Do everything you possibly can up front and stuff to be visible. There's nothing that's going to be 100%, but as riders, we should be doing everything that we can to be as safe as we can. And we all know there's a lot of distracted drivers on the road.
There sure are. That's the beauty of your product. If you can be seen, everyone says to be heard, and I think there is something to that. But to be able to be seen is different. It's especially with the piercing white that your lights have. I think that's huge. So this is going to be like asking you your favorite child, but I'm going to go ahead for it. So of all the products you designed, what's your favorite? Do you have one?
Yeah, I do. And it has to be the front amber white turn signals, the dynamic rings, not just because they're our best seller, but I do believe that they, increase the visibility on the bike so much. They're the one product that we've been copied the most on. As you know, Harley now has their version of that too. But it has just been such a home run product for us, and it's flattering that everyone has come out with these since we have, and we probably still sell more than everyone else combined that has tried to copy that product. But that is my favorite product. I think it does so much for the visibility. I still see bikes, driving down the road coming at me where they're, nowadays there's so many of them with them, 5 bikes with them on with that has the dynamics rings and 2 that do not. And those 5 bikes that have them stand out so much compared to the 2 bikes that don't. And the reason is, your headlight is really not designed to give you visibility. It really isn't. It's designed for allow you to see, but it's really not designed to give the bike visibility. Now we drive with our headlights on to help with visibility, but the headlight is not a great light for giving for you to be seen. It's a great tool to help you see, but it doesn't do an awful lot for other vehicles seeing you. The dynamic rings do more than the headlights, in my opinion, to allow that bike to be seen from the front than a headlight does. And so,
I know the first
so
time
that's my favorite product.
Okay. Because I know the first time I had seen your windshield trim in action, I could see it a mile away. I was like, that's a Custom Dynamics light. My wife's like, how do you know? I'm like, look how pure that white is. Like it's almost hurts your eyes. Because I know when I put my turn signals on, I have the amber to whites or the whites to amber. In the video, it almost, and it is, they're a more pure white, and you can see them more than you can even see the headlight. It really stands out. It's a fantastic product.
Yeah, that's a really good product too, and it does the same thing as the dynamic rings. I mean, you've got all that white, light, on the front of the bike, giving you additional visibility, and a lot of people go with both. That's a great combination that really increases the visibility. Everything matches, both the white and the amber, and that's a great combination too.
Yeah.
Got to see all the lighting you guys put on Craig Johnson's bike down at Daytona. That thing looks impressive on his Road King. He's getting ready for the Hoka Hey coming up in June. That thing looked beautiful.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that video. Yeah.
And speaking of that, I appreciate all that your company does to support the online community and the creators. Because I know Monkey's down there, the Ornery One's down there, Traveling Tall. There's just so many channels, my channel that you support, and I think it's great that what you're doing for the community. There's so many companies that talk it but don't walk it, and I know that for me it's made a huge difference. So I just wanted to say thank you. It's
well,
great.
Thank you. And it works both. It works both ways, so we appreciate it too. So,
yeah, you have such big names supporting your products. I feel like I can't go anywhere without seeing your product, and that's a good thing. That's such a great thing.
Yeah, that's great. It was great to see all the guys down in Daytona all together. I think it was today. I saw a picture of all the guys that were down there all together in one group photo.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you definitely are onto something that's brilliant. So I guess before we do the giveaway, the one last question I want to ask, and I don't know how much you can talk about this or not. Do you have any future concepts or anything you can talk about that's coming, or ideas that you have?
Yeah, I obviously I can't disclose too much
Sure.
on future products until we have them ready for release. But I can give you some kind of hints on what's going on.
Okay,
so
we'll take hints.
Yeah. So we'll take it. So we are working on a new concept for brake strobes. And that concept will involve your smartphone. So
okay, I'm intrigued. Okay,
interesting.
Yep. So we'll just say that. So that's something that they're working on that I'm pretty excited about. And then the other one I'll tell you about, since kind of everyone's been asking for it anyway. We are working on a sequential version of the ProBEAM tour pack.
Oh,
nice.
Oh, very nice. That light has to be, I think, was on everybody's wish list for so long. And I know for ultra riders or limited, whoever we want to call it, I love that light is so high up and so bright. You did a fantastic job on that.
Hey, Bri, if you scroll up
thanks.
a couple questions in the comments, Robert Nyland is right above that one. He's having an issue, wants to know who should he contact.
At Daytona Bike Week, address a problem I have with triple play. Who should I contact? You're at Destination Daytona, right? Would that be
J&P Cycles?
J&P Cycles. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So we have a booth over at J&P. So if you swing by J&P, you'll see the big Custom Dynamics display there. So if you're there at Bike Week, go by there and then just stop in and just talk to whoever will greet you. There's several people there, and they'll help you out.
That's awesome. All right. So you ready, Denver? You ready to do this?
Yeah, buddy.
All right. You can't win, Denver. I'm sorry. Just so you know how the contest works. You can't win.
What are you talking about?
So the first person to post the correct Denver, you have a side chat up before we do it?
Yeah.
So Custom Dynamics and Dave were graciously enough to give us a $250 gift card to give away. I can't say enough about Custom Dynamics supporting our channel and supporting the community as a whole. So I am going to throw the question up. First answer wins. Let's see what we got. Well, that was fast. Oh, not yet.
Nope. Not
So
yet.
the first street legal motorcycle that Dave owned. Let's see what we got.
Hey, nobody's answered yet. I should be able to get in on this. Come on.
Not yet.
Oh, wait, we got one.
There it is. Dallas won. Oh, no. It was whoa. Sorry. I apologize. That came up quick. Oh, Mike won. Holy smoke. Am I right, Denver? Can you confirm that?
Yeah.
Wow.
We had the Honda 50, but it wasn't a 50. His first straight wheel was the CB 750. So it'd be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Mike has the luck of the Irish because wow. This is the second time he's won a contest. Holy smokes. Oh, that's awesome. Well, congratulations, Mike. We're going to get your email and that will come to you, I think, electronically, I believe. But wow, that was great. I apologize that my chat on this side was delayed. So I apologize if I prematurely gave a winner. But congratulations, Mike, Mr. Anders Eastern Shore. Great. I appreciate it. So the one thing I did want to ask, and I forgot to sneak it in while we were talking. Let's hypothetically say we're all sitting around in a Custom Dynamics design room and we come up with the next brilliant idea. How long does it take that idea to go to the street? I mean, is there a rough, I always wondered, like, you know, if I had that, like I'm drawing on the napkin, like how does that get to you?
Yeah, that's great. And let me say one thing too. A lot of times we get ideas from customers. So a customer come to us and said, "Hey, have you ever thought about this?" And you know, a lot of times, no, we haven't. And sometimes we'll work with the customer. Of course, we'll ask, "Hey, you know, before we go, you know, what do you want out of it?" And most of the time, I want the first one, you know. And sometimes they say, "I want the first one for me and all my buddies," and we do that, you know. That so you know, we're very willing to work with you if you have an idea and we use it, and you know, but we just have to agree what the terms are before we start any project like that. But normally, I would say under normal times, it's about a year from concept to having the first productions. Now, with the supply chain issues we're having now, it's like 2 years because semiconductors, the lead time on semiconductors right now is on average about 52 weeks.
Holy crap.
It's when we place a new order, and this is so hard, and we actually have done very well through this in you know, so if we're out of stock on something, you know, we apologize, and we've tried to do really good with the supply chain, but lead time on semiconductors is about 52 weeks. Sometimes things we're seeing even 99 weeks. So when we're starting to run low on something and we have to forecast how many we're going to need, we have to forecast out at least 1 year, in some cases 2 years. So, you know, you obviously don't want to buy too much and be sitting on all kinds of inventory, but you don't want to not have enough because it's such a long lead time. But yeah, it's absolutely crazy. And I've been in semiconductors, as I said, for most all of my career. I've never seen it like this. Never seen it this bad.
That's insane.
It really is. It's insane. So you think about gas prices and everything else, that's insane. Semiconductor lead time is absolutely insane. It's really just crazy.
That's insane. Wow.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. That's wow. That's got to be because you could almost have a second generation of a thought before you had the first generation out. That's wow.
Yes.
Go through a few drafts of the idea before you ever get it.
Yeah, it's challenging times, and it's, you know, it's no different for anyone. And this is why, you know, everyone's probably more familiar with automotive, and you know why you can't get, you know, new cars and stuff. It's the same reason they can't get the electronics.
That's wow. So there you go, Denver. You better come up with your idea quick. Your killer idea. You have to submit your killer idea soon.
I'm on it. Why I spend all my days driving hours down the highway every day in a truck, I'll think of some great ideas.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, Dave. I mean, as we're getting close to your hour, so is there anything that you'd like to talk about or anything that you'd like to suggest? I mean, everyone here needs to go check out your products if they haven't. I would sure hope they know of your product, but it's a game changer for sure. And I really do love the way that you have your in-store displays. I'm a huge fan of that. You're even though my wife likes to blind me with your displays, but
No, I will just say, if you're unfamiliar with our products, certainly most all the Harley shops across the country carry our products. They carry our displays. So we certainly want to support them. So, if you want to go in there, check out the displays, check out the products, you can certainly buy the products from them. We always want to support them. We want to support all of our independent dealers, all of our dealers that we have at the show. So you can go, if you're down in the Daytona area right now, we've got a lot of dealers down there selling our products. We're also down there, but feel free to check any of them out. We do have our website also. And so you can actually just go plug your year, make, and model in and hit find parts. It'll tell you all the parts that'll fit that bike. And if you have any questions at all, just submit an inquiry and say, hey, this is what I have. I have, this make model bike, and this, I'm not quite sure what I want, but this is what I'm trying to do. I've got this vision for the bike. This is what I'm trying to do. This is the theme I'm trying to go with the bike. And our customer service reps are really, really sending you suggestions. They'll send you an email with all the links and stuff so you can check it out. You could work with them. You go back and forth as many times as you want, and they'll help you pick the products that make the most sense for your bike. Just try to give them an idea of what you're looking for, and give us a little direction, and they'll take it and run with you and work with you and help you make the best selection. There's so many different choices. It can be a little overwhelming on the website and say, hey, I don't know if I want this type of turn signal or this one. There's a lot of different choices, but they'll send them all to you. You can look at them, ask questions, and decide what's best for you.
that's great. Denver, you have any thoughts? Anything you want to close with?
But no, I think it's a great product you got. I mean, I'm a big fan of of your of Custom Dynamics. It definitely stands behind its name, and when it comes to safety, you definitely can't have enough lights and can't be visible enough. And I think it's great.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think that lighting is such an overlooked value in motorcycles as far as your safety. And I think that everyone, especially, you need to start from the rear of your bike and build out. At least that's my suggestion. Your highest light and start from there.
Well, we can't take a little side note. I do got one question. Some of the people here in the chat and also kind of follow my podcast and whatnot. If there's somebody in here, because I got a package in the mail the other day.
Yeah, we don't know what happened here.
No, somebody sent my wife and I t-shirts from motorcycle t-shirts from Daytona, sweatshirts. I got 2 t-shirts and sweatshirts. She got a t-shirt. I have no idea who they came from. I mean, I just love to say thank you to the person who sent them. So if any one of you, if that was you, hey, shoot me a message. Let me know, because I'm so curious where these came from. Because somebody paid 2-day priority shipping, the receipts in there. I mean, they spent a good chunk of change on these shirts. I have no idea who sent them.
Yeah, they sure did.
But thank you. I do like the shirts. They're awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. We appreciate, again, your time and all you do for the motorcycle community. I know you've Bronco rides here, Bodine's here, the monkeys were here earlier. I mean, that's just awesome. Gears and Gadgets are here, so there's a lot of folks that really owe a lot to you guys. So we appreciate all you give back. So
well, thank you. Thank you for having me on. Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely.
For having me on tonight. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Absolutely. In Denver, before we go, did you want to talk about your Sunday show?
Yeah, coming up Sunday, guys, tune in. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got Brian Clock from Clockworks is going to be on the V-Twin Live Sunday at 5 Pacific Standard Time. We'll dive into his backstory of motorcycles and dive into how Clockworks became a household name in motorcycles, much like Custom Dynamics. And it'll be a lot of fun. So tune in, guys, Sunday, 5 Pacific Standard Time.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much, Dave. Thank you so much for your time. I'm sorry to keep you up on a Wednesday evening, but we appreciate it.
No problem at all. Enjoyed it.
Yep. And thank you for doing the giveaway with us. We greatly appreciate it. And Denver, do you want to hang out for a little bit, or do you want to?
Yeah.
Are you okay? So
I don't
Dave,
care.
we're going to. I mean, you're welcome to hang out. We were just going to freestyle for a while, but if you need to go, we certainly understand too. We're just going to hang out with the
sign
side
off
chat.
and let you guys go.
All right, Dave.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time.
All
We
right.
really
Well, thanks for
appreciate it.
having me on.
Yeah, thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. We're going to we'll throw it up to the side chat, see what's going on. So what's going on, guys? What's new? Everybody have fun with that?
Yeah, that
really
was fun.
appreciate everybody checking out the show. That was a really good time.
Those ones are fun. You get somebody, that's built the name, built the company that's really built themselves up to kind of hear the whole story and be able to, pick their brain, much like, Unity has some great questions, and it's a lot of fun to hear the history and that backstory of where it started.
Yeah, it certainly is a fantastic opportunity to talk to people from the industry that not only are making amazing products, but they're also supporting us. So that's great.
Very true.
So Mr. Clockworks is going to be on. That should be an exciting show.
That should be a lot of fun. I'm excited for that. It's going to be pretty cool. We've talked a few times on the phone, and I think he'll be on his way back from Daytona. But yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm excited. If you have to talk to him, I'd love to try to set up a time, even get his wife on, because tell you what, she's one badass herself.
Yeah, I mean, she's broken some land speed records and so forth. That's really cool.
I mean, we're taking a road glide to, I think it was 154 and some change is insane. Plus, I mean, her daughters were there. They hold land speed records. It's, that whole family is pretty well known within that community.
Oh, yeah. They want to know if you're going to bring Bodine out to talk about his giant windshield.
Yeah, Dallas has been all over that all night. I like it. I like the dedication.
Dallas, Dallas wants to make sure you're doing the best. That you're putting in the work.
There you go. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited.
Oh, there is some discrepancy. We're gonna have to figure this out. Oh crap. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to look at this. There apparently is a very weird thing going on with the chats aren't in sync. All right, we're gonna have to figure that out. Something's off. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, guys. If you're still watching this, it's all over the place because some people are seeing one thing, we're seeing something different, so we're just gonna have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Not sure what's going on there. I've seen 4 screenshots, and all 4 screenshots look different, so I'm not sure what happened. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But it's all good. So cool, man. Well, guys,
Yes.
It's been another successful live stream. And who do we have coming up next week? We have Ray, right?
I think it is. Is it Mr. Ray Robledo?
Yes. Let's figure this. So we have Ray on from the Harley Showcase on next week. And then who do we have? We have Crash Inc. on after that. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's going to be a great show. Cool, man. Well, guys, thank you so much. It's been a little bit of a long day for me, but we're going to have to cut this a little bit short. We appreciate it, and I appreciate everybody for attending.
Yeah. So
I
fun.
hope you guys all have a great night, and we will talk to you on Sunday. We hope to see you on the V-Twin podcast, and join us for the live stream so we can check out Clockworks. That'll be fun.
That's gonna be a blast.
All righty.
All right, guys.
Looking
Hey, thanks
forward
for
to it.
tuning in. It was a lot of fun, guys.
Yeah. We'll see you on Sunday, guys. Thanks.
All right, later.
See you, buddy.